She knew my apartment like she'd lived there, the cracked tile, the landlord's cat, before we ever met. At first it felt like lucky coincidence. Then little proof started arriving. Photos, offhand details, a coffee cup on my step. I realized someone had stitched my life into a lie and was wearing it. She knew the name of my old college roommate before I told her, on our first date. My name is Evan Miller, and this happened to me last year. I matched with her because the app showed a blue check and a few mutual friends, and I didn't question it. Everything about her profile looked normal. That's why I still don't understand how she knew my life better than I did. She asked about an apartment I lived in years ago, a tiny place above a bakery. I'd mentioned it once in a throwaway post. She described the cracked tile in the bathroom, the landlord's cat, the corner I liked. I shrugged it off. Mutual friends, small town. Hold up? Then she said my roommate's name. I'd only told that name in private messages when I was drunk. She spoke it casually, like a normal detail. She even named a dumb accident I once posted about. I dented a car after a night out. I hadn't told that story in years. She said, "You were scared then." After dinner, she walked me to my car. She knew another bar I used to work at, a shortcut I took, the nickname my sister uses. These were tiny things. I told myself people share too much online. That night my phone buzzed. A mutual friend texted, "Who is she? I don't know her." My stomach tightened. I showed my date. She said maybe friends changed. I should have pushed. I didn't. Hold up. I checked her profile later. The photos looked real, but the username had weird punctuation. One image was a travel shot from a woman overseas. I tracked that woman's account, private. The photos matched. Someone had copied them to make a fake profile. The blue check. Forum said it sold on shady sites. I felt exposed. I called the mutual friend. He swore he didn't know her. He was creeped out. I put the phone down. I began thinking about the cracked tile. Wait. She began to know things I never posted. A midnight text read, "You like the window with the chipped latch." I never wrote that. I asked how she knew. She replied, "You told me." She sent a selfie of her holding a book. The background had my college poster taped on the wall. I don't own that poster anymore. How did she have a photo with it? Hold up. I went to my old neighborhood and stared up at that tiny window. People shrugged. Then I found forum scraps where someone had reposted bits of my past posts months earlier. Someone had scraped my online life and left traces. I told her I wanted distance. Her reply was quiet. I wanted to see if I could become someone real. People post everything. You made it easy. The words felt like a hand at my throat. She showed up in small ways. A friend said a woman who looked like her asked about me at a coffee shop. Another friend saw the same face at a bar. My inbox filled with followers that looked half-made, little signs. A voicemail I didn't remember. A like from an account with no posts. Hold up. I tightened passwords, deleted old posts, made accounts private. It helped a little, but privacy has holes. I found old comments mirrored on obscure forms and a screenshot of my graduation photo posted under a different name. She was sewing together my life from scraps. One night she stood at my door. She said she lived an hour away and wanted to see the place I always described. Rain slicked her hair. She held a bag. I didn't let her in. I told her to go. She smiled like someone used to standing at doors. The police said stolen photos and identity fraud are hard to prove. They told me to document everything. I printed messages and saved screenshots. She texted a photo of my front step with a coffee cup on it. The timestamp was 9 minutes after she rang the bell. Hold up, I sold a couch and moved a few towns over. I thought moving would reset things. For a week it felt clean. Then she messaged, "Nice new light." She posted a photo from a corner that matched my living room. I felt certain. She never hurt me. She never explained. She said later she only wanted to know if she could be someone real. That idea sat in my head like a splinter. Wait again. Now I guard small things. I keep passwords in a notebook. I lock old photos in drives. I tell friends not to tag locations. I write small lies in public posts. It helps some. But sometimes I catch a woman in a crowd who smiles too easily and knows my dog's name. Final thing. She taught me that strangers can stitch a person together from scraps and become believable. The proof she made out of me won't wash away. I still check my feeds with a careful eye and sleep with a light on. I handed her my phone, and 2 days later, my bank showed charges from cities I'd never been to. I matched her on an app and we chatted a week. She said she liked coffee and slow trains. We met at a diner. The date was fine. She laughed at the right times. She said her battery was low. Hold up. I offered to call a car. She said, "Use my app. My phone's dying." She smiled and reached for my phone like it was no big deal. She tapped a ride, typed fast, and handed it back. Her voice was soft. 2 days later, my bank pinged with a charge, then another. Small totals at first, $5, $10, like worms on a hook. Then they piled. I reset passwords, called the bank. They reversed some charges. The next day, more appeared from a city 3 states away. I hadn't been there. I opened my payment apps and found an email marked primary I didn't recognize. In my phone wallet, an email was added. Ride services, food apps, delivery accounts, all linked. Some showed new payment methods I didn't add. My breathing went shallow. I called her. She sounded calm. "Oh, that's weird," she said. "Maybe a glitch." She offered to pay me back. Then a bag of takeout showed up at my door with a name I didn't know. The teller frowned at the bank when I went in. She said the cards were used like someone had had the phone in hand. The word authorized came up a lot. Wait, a cop listened politely. He said, "If she had access and added her email, that can be authorized access. It's not always theft." He said they could try to trace IPs. His voice was soft and flat. Hold up. The bank reversed some payments. New marketing emails arrived to that other address. My phone backed up photos and messages to a cloud I did not control. I found a folder with screenshots of my bank of my license. I did not take those pictures. I called her again. She sounded amused. "I linked it so we could split," she said. "You said it was fine." She laughed like it was nothing. A cold prickle ran through me. I changed passwords, pulled the SIM, and locked accounts. It helped a little, but backups held copies. In one, I found a saved delivery note. Henry's apt. Leave on porch. Henry is not my name. I deleted it and sat with my face in my hands. I checked her profile. Some mutual friends said they'd never met her. Others were vague. A couple followers looked fake. I felt watched. My front door felt like a stage. One morning, a food slip was tucked under my door. The app showed a porch drop-off from that email. I tossed it and felt exposed. Months of calls and letters slowed it. Some charges vanished. Phone backups were cleaned, but traces stayed. A subscription under her email, a package forwarded to an address on my profile. The money hit was small. The breach hurt more. Someone used my phone like a key. I wanted the police to make it right. The officer kept saying, "Authorized access." He didn't say, "criminal." Harm lived in gray words and slow processes. I saw her months later at a subway stop. She stood across the tracks, cap low. She smiled like a neighbor. I wanted to cross and ask why. I walked on. Wait. Her last message was, "Thanks for the night," and a silly emoji. No answer about money. She was polite until she wasn't. She didn't mug me in a movie way. She walked through a door I had opened. I changed everything. Passwords, two-step, offline backups. I tell friends, don't hand phones. They nod and hand them. Weeks later, a small box came with no return. Inside, a plain charger and a white sticker with a smirk like hers. I put it in a drawer. That night, my phone buzzed and my heart jumped. Final thing, some charges were refunded. The bank closed parts of the case as no criminal intent. The app account later reappeared under another name. Screenshots and a backup showed a message she sent. "You're easy to trust. Thanks." It sat in the cloud like proof someone else kept score. I don't know if she wanted money or to prove a point. I only know a phone can be a key and a polite smile can give someone a way in. Now I check phones before I hand them over. I lock backups and watch for odd emails. I still think about how polite she was when she asked. I matched with this girl on a dating app, and 2 weeks later, I got fired over messages I never sent. It started normal enough. I was just scrolling through profiles one evening after work. You know, the usual. Tired from a long day at the office, sitting on my couch with the TV mumbling in the background. My apartment's in this quiet building downtown. Nothing fancy, but it's home. The walls are thin. I can always hear the neighbor's dog scratching at the door late at night. Her name was Emily. Profile pic showed a smiley brunette with glasses, said she liked hiking and coffee shops. We chatted a bit, stuff like favorite movies, what we do for fun, nothing deep. "Hey, want to grab coffee Saturday?" I asked. She said yes, suggested this little place near the park. Cool, I thought. First date in months. An hour before we were supposed to meet, my phone buzzed. "Sorry, something came up. Rain check?" Then she unmatched me right after. I shrugged it off. Happens all the time on those apps. I ended up watching a movie instead, old thriller. Forgot about her by morning. 2 weeks passed. Normal routine, work, gym, hanging with friends. Then one Tuesday, my boss calls me into HR. "We need to talk," she said, her face serious. What the hell? In the meeting room, they showed me screenshots, messages from my dating app account, my photo, my name. But the words, aggressive stuff, sexual threats, calling her names I wouldn't say to anyone. "You think you can cancel on me? I'll find you." Timestamps from that Saturday night, right after she bailed. I stared at the papers, hands shaking. I didn't send these, I swear. But the app logs they pulled, login from my city, some cafe Wi-Fi I'd never heard of. The account was deleted by dawn. Who does that? HR sighed. "We have to take this seriously. The complainant sent these in anonymously." Complainant? Emily? But why? We barely talked. I tried explaining. The cancel, the unmatch. "Check my phone," I said. They did. No trace. Clean. But that didn't help. "Looks bad," my boss muttered. "Company policy." Police got involved next. I went down to the station, sat in a cold room with bad coffee. The detective nodded, flipping notes. "Identity theft on apps? More common than you think. Framing happens. Exes, hackers, random creeps." He shrugged. "No real crime without proof of harm. Can't do much." But what if she was the one framing me? I lost sleep after that, lying in bed staring at the ceiling fan, whirring slow. My cat would jump up sometimes, paws soft on the blanket, but I'd jolt. Thought I heard footsteps outside my door once. Probably the neighbor. Still, I double-checked the locks, tried digging, searched her name online. Nothing. Fake profile or real, but wiped clean. Friends said I was paranoid. "Move on, man. Easy." Then the call started. Unknown number, late at night. No voice, just breathing. Blocked it, then another came. I felt sick, like something watched me. Work fired me quietly. "Reputation risk," they said. "No severance. Job hunt sucked. References dodged questions." "What happened there?" interviewers asked. I mumbled. Months later, I saw her, or thought I did, at that same coffee shop we never met at. Brunette with glasses, sipping alone. She looked up, smiled weird, like she knew me. I froze, turned away fast. Not her. But I left quick, heart pounding. Never proved it wasn't me. Police closed the file. Not enough evidence. Haunting part? That cafe Wi-Fi in the logs, it's 2 blocks from my place. I walk past it daily, never went in. What if she was there that night, watching? I changed apps, moved apartments. Sometimes my phone buzzes with a match request. I ignore them now. Who knows who's behind? It's been a year. Still unemployed, freelance gigs. Friends drifted. The breathing on the phone stopped. But last week, a new email. Anonymous. "Miss our date?" I deleted it. I check my doors twice now. And the cat? She hisses at nothing sometimes, stares at the window. Who was she really?